What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to a very special episode of PSR. Today we are at the range. It's about 7:30 p.m. We're about to do some night vision shooting, and not just with any regular night vision. We are shooting today with the ADNV G14SE digital night vision monocular. I know you've probably heard a lot about digital night vision and how it's subpar and not as good as the real thing. Well, I would largely agree with that statement. However, this new night vision from ADNV is, I think, going to be the best performing digital night vision I've ever tried. I'm really impressed with just my initial impressions of it, but we are actually going to shoot with this thing for the very first time tonight. But first, I have some exciting news. This ADNV G14SE digital monocular could be yours. We are doing a giveaway of it. My friends at Fan of Them linked up with me and once again provided something for me to give you guys content for on the channel, but also get entered to win this thing. From just testing it, it looks pretty damn sweet. Check the link in the description or go to fanofthem.com/PSR. That's fanofthem.com/PSR. Now, when you get an entry to win this thing, you get a merch item of mine as well as obviously the chance to win them. But in addition to that, it goes to support the channel. So it's a big help, ammo costs, and just running the channel and providing content for you guys. So if that's something you're interested in, go to fanofthem.com/PSR. And thanks again to Fan of Them, a veteran-owned small business, for helping me out with this review. All right, so what is the G14SE from ADNV? Well, this is a digital night vision monocular. It is capable of recording footage, which is awesome. It is a 100 frames per second maximum refresh rate. A big problem with digital night vision is the latency. So you'll be moving your head around or something, or you're trying to track a target, and the frame rate that you see with our eyes is more around like a 60 to 100 FPS. With the 100 FPS this thing offers, it is by far the best. It feels like there's no latency, and that's been a huge issue with digital, in addition to, like I said, some of the low light capabilities of other digital units. I first saw this on Nick Chen's Instagram. If you haven't checked out Nick Chen, check him out on Instagram. He does a ton of night vision. He used to write for TFB TV for their night vision section. He put me onto this and I was like, whoa, that's digital? Like, that's crazy. So it looks like this thing is going to perform pretty damn well. Now, there are two options that ADNV makes. They make one that's a little bit more pricey than this. I think it's closer to like $3,000. This one is right around $2,000. I think it's $1,800. And then we've got the digital recorder, which is required to be able to film and record and store footage from this device so you can look at it, or if you're shooting competition or something, that's how you do it. So if you guys want to get interested in winning this thing, you're going to get the ADNV RS2 recorder, the wires, the cables, and it also has a mount. Right now I'm just using this AX14 PVS14 mount, so it's really cool that this is also capable of working with PVS14 mounts. What we're going to do is compare a normal PVS14. This is kind of like middle of the range spec. It is a Dark Industries unit that I got a while back. This thing is a great night vision device. The PVS14 is kind of the gold standard. If you're looking to get into night vision from $2,500 to $3,000, the PVS14 is a tried and true performer. We're going to film through this thing with a normal camera so you can see kind of how it looks, and we're going to compare it to the digital unit in a number of different scenarios. But we're also going to be able to see first person the footage that comes out of this guy. Before we get into the rest of the video, I got to thank the channel sponsor for PSR, and that is Aves Engineering. Guys, if you're looking to do a squirted glizzy, Aves is the place to go for all of your squirted glizzy rails. They also got a ton of Mac parts. Never in a million years would I use PSR for 10% off your entire order from Aves rails, and thank you again to Aves for sponsoring this channel. So I'm genuinely curious how this thing's going to do when we shoot with it and actually use the lasers and stuff like that. Am I going to be able to passive aim? I'm very, very curious about that. Right now we got a knockoff Wilcox mount. It works fine. This is my normal helmet setup that I usually run night vision with. One other advantage to this thing I've noticed is clear weight advantage, I've noticed. So this thing is definitely lighter than your PVS14, probably because of the glass and stuff like that inside. It's a very small and very, very light unit, which is awesome. Another thing about this unit is you can choose what batteries you put in it. Right now I have a CR123A, but it comes with an extension where you can fit their proprietary batteries, which are rechargeable. I decided to just go with the CR123 because I have a ton of them. I use the CR123, and so it does make it a little bit less weight, I think, and a little bit smaller of a compact kind of package when you use the CR123A. It comes with this eye cup. This thread here is standardized to be used with PVS14 mounting solutions. Far less bulky than any other digital night vision unit I've seen. It's extremely compact. Definitely gives it an advantage over the PVS14. Now the fun part, what guns are we shooting today? Well, I've got this extremely torqued Honey Badger at home. It's an SBR, I Form 1, and we got these Holosun, both the Iris and the night vision unit. So I actually think this is going to be really cool to compare the night vision footage out of this optic, which is obviously weapon mounted, versus our ADNV G14SE. And that brings me to today's video sponsor, guys, and that is Freedom Gorilla. Guys, if you are looking for optics, Freedom Gorilla is the place to go. They got the best deals on Holosun and a bunch of other brands. And not only are they a great place to get optics, but they're also really good dudes. And they said, hey, we want to sponsor a video. Like, what do you want for this night vision video? So I was like, I haven't tried the Holosun Iris yet. It's the GR3. So it's the green laser one. It's very small and compact, lightweight. And then this is the DRS NV from Holosun as well, provided by Freedom Gorilla. I think because they just sell optics, I can link them in the description. Definitely check out Freedom Gorilla. Big thank you to Freedom Gorilla for sponsoring this video. Aside from the laser and the optic that we've got a Surefire mini scout light on here. We got the Dead Air Sandman X. This is a Q Honey Badger barrel assembly and handguard, so it's about as close to the real Honey Badger as you can get. We got this cool little QT Cat lower, if you can see this. It's by Bad Attitude Department. Kind of did a homage to Q. That is awesome because it's clear anodized, and we're also using the clear anodized PSR uppers, and these are back in stock, baby. Bad Attitude Department. I love them, and they have all my merch. Next up, we're going to be using something really sick. This is my Nexus Evo. It is a aluminum Scorpion. I did a whole review on it. So this is an aluminum upper receiver, and it's got bearing delay. It reduces the recoil quite a bit. It's their whole build, except I added something extremely cool on the end of it. This is the Novox XSD integrally suppressed barrel and adapter for the Evo 3 platform. So this is a real SD. It's got ports in the barrel, and it's got this tube that goes over the ports that connects to any hub suppressor that you want to put on here. So this is a RS9 from Resilient Suppressors, and you can run 115 grain supers through this thing, and it is extremely quiet because of the ported SD barrel. Super, super cool. If I haven't put the video out on that, it's coming pretty soon. And then the handguard, of course, this is an HB Industries handguard that is meant for suppressor use and tucking the suppressor inside. So it's nice and girthy. It's got a good amount of clearance for your suppressors. I think it's probably like at least 1.75, maybe even more, maybe 1.8 inch inner diameter, which is going to fit most of the cans on the market. The only Scorpion handguard that I know of that will fit a big ass can. So big shout out to HB Industries. We've also got their enhanced charging handle on here. And then the night vision device, we're going to be using the laser. We're going to be using the SMS laser HFXC. This thing is a great performer for the price. It's like a $250 laser, and I've had nothing but good things to say about it so far. But we're going to shoot these two guns tonight. It's going to be a lot of quiet subsonic shooting, which is always fun under night vision. So let's get to shooting these two pieces with the ADNV G14SE. What's up, guys? I'm here editing the video right now. I'm noticing like the export is not showing like a great quality, especially when I watch it back on YouTube, of the ADNV output. It's like less contrasty for some reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the ADNV raw footage, and then for the rest of the video, I'm going to turn it from this to this so that you can see a little bit closer to like what it resembles with the PVS-14, so that we can kind of compare them in a better way. So what I did was I just made a little bit more contrasty, added a little bit of a blue tint to it so you can compare it to the white phosphor PVS-14 that we have in there. The quality is much better out of the unit, and this is a 24 frames per second timeline. It's not going to get that 100 frames per second in this timeline because I record everything on my YouTube videos at 24 frames per second. I just like the way it looks. It's more cinematic, but wanted to just give you guys a note that the raw footage from the ADNV looks a lot better than it does in the YouTube video. Back to the video. We're going to start with the 300 blackout and then go to the 9mm, the Scorpion. One thing I'm noticing immediately off the bat with this night vision unit, it's not fully dark out, but this is excellent image clarity. Honestly, there's no grain. The latency is like impossible to really notice out of the human eye. Really good. And another thing I'll mention is the menu system on this thing is super intuitive. So I'm just gonna go to record so we can capture this on video. All right, here we go. First shots out of the Honey Badger at home. Nice. Let's go to the far target. Boom. Oh, this is sick. Go to this guy down there. There it is. Excellent. Wow, this is pretty cool. Whew. baby. Now we're gonna go into the woods and see how really, you know, if we could really push this thing, the performance of it. Put a couple more shots downrange here. And the cool thing about the honey badgers, you can obviously make the gun quite collapsed. And for night vision shooting, you can kind of keep it just tucked right here. That's pretty cool. Go all the way down. Boom! Man, this thing's dialed. And here's just an example of the beam spread that you can do. Super easy on the Holosun Iris. That's pretty sick. I like it like right there. Nice. I guess we should just get rid of the rest of this mag. Woo! Nice. Subsonic 220 grains. All right, well, it's starting to get a little bit darker here. I want to see what this Holosun looks like through, if we can record through that, which I think we can. Let's check that out. All right, let's try the DRS-NV from Holosun. I'm already noticing it's a little bit grainy, but we're recording now, so you should get a good picture here. And this is what it looks like with the illuminator. Pretty sweet. All right, here we go. Nice. Getting hits. Go this little guy. A little bit high. There it is. Gong, 100. Oh, a little high. There it is. This close. Nice. Go all the way down to these guys. Boom. Boom. Wow. This is pretty sick. This DRS-NV is pretty good performer, I'd say. Not 100% pitch black, but it is a half moon right now, so this might be close to as dark as we get, but I can still make out all the targets. It'll be interesting to do it here in the field, but also test it kind of like closer to the woods. I can imagine it's going to be pretty hard to see. You know, the illuminator on this Holosun Iris is pretty good. If I go to the low power mode, that's a little bit easier to see the targets, but honestly, I'm having an easier time just going passive without the laser with this DRS-NV. Let's put on the G14SE, the digital monocular again, and now that it's a little bit darker, we'll see how it looks. All right, here we go, the Nexus Evo. We got the G14SE, the digital monocular back on, and we're trying out this HFXC. Here we go. Nice, dude, this thing's so quiet. Wow. Oh, baby. Boom. Holy shit. Go all the way down there. Oh, I'm a little off. Come on. Well. The contrast of the illuminator on the close targets, it is a little bit blown out, but I feel like that would probably be happening with the PBS-14 too. Look at this close target. Can you focus on that? Yep. Does that look blown out, like way bright?
Yeah.
Yeah, so same thing on this monocular. Even with analog, it's blown out. Finish this mag. Excellent. Oh, dick, dude, this thing's so torqued. It's so sick. Aiming with the laser on this thing feels just the same as a PBS-14, in my opinion. As far as just like acquiring the targets, you can change the contrast and like the sharpness on this thing as well. I've got it set to low contrast, low sharpness. I want to try to actually passively aim through this thing now, and you guys can look, you know, and see what it looks like, because that might be where it gets a little bit challenging with the digital, but we'll see. I haven't tried it yet, so let's try it. All right, so now we're gonna try passive aiming through this digital monocular. We've got the Lead & Steel LP1. I got it on its lowest setting, and I'll show you guys what it looks like through this view of mine here. I think it's gonna be a little bit more challenging. Passive aiming is when you don't use any lasers or anything. If you're not familiar with that, it's a lot more challenging. I shot a night vision competition just doing passive this March, and it was pretty damn hard. Let's try this. So looking through the optic and the 80NV. Woo, baby. This is a little bit more challenging here. I think that's a target. Yep. The little guy. Nice. See if we can go all the way down to the gong. Yeah. Oh, miss. There it is. I think that's a target. Nice. You can see the target's all right. Obviously, it's very different than when you shine a laser on there. That's very clear to see. But still, honestly, not half bad, especially for digital and shooting passive digital. Let's see. Let me use my... Okay, so that's a target right there. No. It's hard to see right there. So yeah, that's at 100 yards and it's barely visible, but I did hit it. All right, let's just dump the rest of this thing here. Hell yeah. And as far as the focus goes on this thing, it's just like a PVS-14 where you focus it close so that you can see the gun right now. And then I'll focus in the distance. It's a pretty short throw, just like a PVS-14. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys 3 different images. One is the ADNV, the G14SE digital monocular. And next to that is our kind of run-of-the-mill PVS-14, nothing too crazy in terms of the tube specs on it. It's pretty average tube. And then next to that is the DRS-NV from HoloSun. You can see the differences here. The G14SE is actually pretty damn good compared to the PVS-14. I think they're very comparable. The grain on the natural tube is a different kind of grain than a digital grain, but to me, the resolution of the sensor on the ADNV is pretty damn good for low light, and you can see in the field, the DRS-NV is probably the worst performer here, but it's kind of in a different category. It's a optic that's meant to be mounted on a rifle, but you can see more grain on that one. All right, next up, we're gonna walk into the woods and you're gonna be able to see the difference between that PVS-14 we're filming on with the camera and then what I'm wearing on my head, which will be the digital night vision. So let's check that out. All right, so we're kind of in the woods here and I'm looking around and yes, it's definitely hard to see in here, but not impossible. And without my night vision on, without this night vision, it would be damn near impossible to see anything in here. I can make out trees and I can make my way through the woods. I don't know what the PVS-14 looks like. I'm really curious to see what the PVS-14 looks like because this is the stretching of the tube. We're stretching tubes. Not that kind of tube, but yeah, we're stretching the tube, the performance of it. It's really quite grainy. But this is definitely the best digital night vision I've ever tried, for sure. Like I can still make out the shadows and the outlines of the trees, which on a lot of digital stuff, this would be just like all completely washed out, full of grain. All right, so it's really interesting to see the comparison between our digital night vision unit, the ADNV, versus the PVS-14. I felt like the ADNV still wasn't quite as good as the kind of mid-tier PVS-14 that you're seeing through right now. It was closer than any other digital I've ever seen. Pretty damn good for what it is, I think. You can adjust the contrast. I tried to make it more contrasty and it was just a little bit too much and you could see more of the grain. So you do less contrast, you see less grain, more contrast, you see more grain. We are at the VTAC here. I'm just gonna try to hit some targets with the laser on our Honey Badger clone and just see how hard it is with this monocular. Nice. A little peephole here. Where is that going? There it is. Oh, this is gonna be a tough one. Oh shit, nice. All right, let's see if we can do this. This one might be a little hard. Can still see the, hey, nice. Come on. Hey, that's pretty sick. Oh, dick, I might have to just let her piss. Oh, shit. Guys, whew, that is a lot of fun. When you're looking through a PVS-14, it's not necessarily like the ideal situation. Duals are way easier to aim with, and this feels about the same as a PVS 14, honestly. It's a little bit less money than a PVS 14 though, so this thing can shoot with the VTAC. Oh yeah. All right, so that has been a night of shooting with the ADNV G14SE digital monocular. I am super impressed with the performance of this digital night vision unit. I know when the Psionics Opsin came out and people were starting to say, wow, yeah, digital's getting quite a bit better, but this, in my opinion, blows that out of the water. It's a much more natural feeling image, in my opinion. We did a comparison in the woods. This isn't quite as high performing as the traditional analog night vision. Is it as good as analog? No, not quite yet, but it is getting extremely close. The advantages, I would say, are you get to record footage really easily, and the footage is on 100 frames per second, so you can slow that footage down. And I'm really curious if we might see the round actually leaving the gun when I go through my footage. But advantages, definitely being able to record, being able to adjust the contrast, adjust the brightness in a way that's, you know, a little bit more advanced than something just like a knob on your analog PVS 14. Is it as easy to navigate? In the woods, not quite. So when we walked through the woods, we noticed the digital struggled a bit more, but it wasn't by as much as I thought. If you turn down the contrast, it's a little bit easier to walk and navigate with it than with the contrast turned up where you see the grain. Other thing about this is you're gonna see a screen, like you're gonna see a rectangle instead of a circle. Like that's a big difference. Some of you might like that. It's got kind of like that looking through TV, like you're looking definitely at a screen vibe. It's like a 4x3 probably rectangle versus a circle. To me, that didn't make too much of a difference. ADNV also makes the mount that you can mount this to your helmet, like a standalone mount, but I didn't use that. I just used the PVS 14 one that I had, but that will come with the unit as well. And maybe that would get it a little bit closer to my eye, which would give me a little bit more field of view. As far as the accessories that Freedom Gorilla sent, the DRS NV, I'm actually pretty impressed by that too. It's not a bad option. A few $100 more, you could get something like this and have it be on your helmet. And I think it's more versatile, but as like a standalone option, if you don't have nods and you want to be able to aim at night, this isn't too bad. I did have to use the illuminator on the iris to kind of find targets at times. The iris, I'm very impressed with. I really like the throw lever, how quick and easy it is to adjust the size of that beam. It seemed like it had pretty good power. This is pretty bright, but when I brought it down to the lower power setting, it was working just fine out here. To wrap this up, guys, I think this is an excellent night vision device for someone who maybe doesn't have like a giant budget. If you're gonna get a PVS 14, great, but it's gonna be a little bit more expensive than this. This comes in around $1,800. You're not gonna have that recording capability. I would say digital is on the way to getting very close to being analog performance-wise. I did a night vision shooting competition earlier this March, Moons Out, and Giga had some digital nods from Polar Tactical, and they were just complete dog shit. He could not see anything in the dark. Like, it was horrible, like almost impossible. These are so much better than that. Yes, in the woods, it's kind of hard to see with them, but if you have an IR illuminator on your laser, then you're good. If you're doing passive aiming in the complete pitch black dark at night, obviously with nothing but your optic and this, it's going to be hard, but that's going to be hard with the PVS 14 too. Guys, that's my review on the ADNV G14SE digital night vision binocular. I hope you enjoyed it. And a reminder, this G14SE, this very one that's on my head right now, this could be yours. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel, supporting what I'm doing right here, making this content, the link is in the description, guys. fanofthem.com/PSR to get your entry, you get a merch item, and of course, you help support the channel. So best of luck to you guys. Hope you win this thing. It is fun as fuck to use, and I hope you have a blast roaming around at night and shooting with it and having fun and just doing night vision shenanigans. I got nods. It doesn't matter if they're digital or analog. I got nods. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up. I'll see you on the next one. Love ya. Bye. Mwah. I got nods.